So we're trying to figure out how to find the cross product between A and B. We already know how to find the magnitude. We simply take the magnitude of A times the magnitude of B times the sine of the angle between them. I'm choosing to put, for our example, A as a vector in the x direction. So that would be this way, and B in the y direction, this way. And that means that the angle between them is 90 degrees. The sine of 90 is 1, so I just get the multiplication of the two magnitudes. But how is it that I get the direction of the cross product? I know that the vector c should point perpendicular to both A and B, but I have two options, right? A and B are defining the plane of my board here, which means the vector that points out at me could be the vector for the cross product, or the one that points into the board. So to figure this out, I have to use something called the right-hand rule. Now there are a lot of these out there, and you are welcome to use whichever one you find the most convenient. I'm going to show you the one that most physicists use for just about every right-hand rule that you're going to see. Obviously, you need to use your right hand. Now, it will look like I'm using my left hand because my video is mirrored, but I promise you that this is the right hand that I'm using here. And what you need to do is you take your fingers all sort of lined up together and you place them in the direction of the first vector in the cross product. And it matters which vector is in which place here. So it's always got to be the first vector in the cross product. So here in my example, that's in the direction of vector A, which is in the x direction, so that should point this way. You can follow along with me at home. And then what you do is you take your fingers and you curl them in the direction of the second vector, right? So here I'm going to put my fingers in the direction of A. Now there's lots of ways that I can do that, but there's only one way I can put my fingers in the direction of A and then curl them in the direction of B. When I do that, my thumb will point in the direction of the cross product. You're always guaranteed that that's going to be perpendicular, and it's going to give you the particular perpendicular vector that is the cross product. So here again in our example, the vector A points this way. I curl my fingers toward vector B, and my thumb, which I know it's difficult to see, right, is pointing out of the board, right? It's pointing at me. So I would say that the vector C is going to point out of the board, which is a circle with a little dot in it, rather than pointing into the board.